For 6,000 long years, the galaxy lived without the sound of a human voice. Stars were born and died. Empires rose, collapsed, and vanished like dust on wind. But Earth remained silent. No ships, no radio signals, nothing. Many believed humans had destroyed themselves. Others whispered that they were hiding somewhere, growing stronger in the dark. But the truth no one knew. In deep space, beyond the borders of known maps, something ancient began to move. A forgotten satellite that once watched the galaxy blinked awake. Old engines hummed after ages of silence. Broken signals spread through void, slow at first, like a heart learning to beat again. Across alien worlds, leaders gathered with fear in their eyes. They remembered humanity, the warriors who never surrendered, the species who laughed in front of death. If humans were truly returning, the balance of power would shatter. No empire would sleep easy again. One night, 3 long-range scanners detected a vibration in space, steady, cold, rhythmic, almost like footsteps. Scientists watched in silence as an unknown signal slowly shaped itself into a pattern. It was old, older than their oldest records. A code only one civilization ever used. Humanity's military broadcast. The news spread across the stars within hours. Panic followed like a shadow. Fleets prepared shields. Soldiers loaded weapons. Civilizations that once mocked Earth now trembled. If humans were alive, then what did they want? Peace? Revenge? Total domination? Nobody had an answer. But one detail terrified everyone most. The signal was not alone. Hidden behind it was something massive, slow, and unstoppable. Something big enough to silence whole star systems. The galaxy held its breath. Because after 6,000 silent years, humanity was moving again. Third person, simple English, tension rising, HFY suspense. 3 days after the signal, the first eyes saw them. On the far edge of the Orion Arm, deep space patrol ships detected a shadow, long, dark, and impossibly structured. Not one ship, not 10, not even 100. A formation of 1,000 warships, moving like a single giant creature. Their hulls were black as frozen night, marked with silent symbols. Ancient human military code carved like scars. No lights, no beacons, only power. Alien commanders stared at the scanners in disbelief. It was impossible. No species could build such a fleet in isolation. Not in 6,000 years. Not without resources, colonies, trade, technology exchange. And yet, humans had done it. Quietly, patiently, without a single cry to the galaxy. Every ship in the fleet carried engines glowing deep blue, like the heart of a dying star. The thrusters left long trails across space, smooth, calm, controlled. There was no rush in their movement. No panic. They were not running to war. They were returning. Messages exploded across the galaxy like thunder. Human armada sighted. Impossible firepower detected. They are coming straight for the Council. All known empires prepared fleets, thousands of destroyers and carriers lining borders like shields. But every admiral saw the truth. If war began, they would fall. Humanity's ships were not built for show. They were built for battle, for victory, for survival. Still, the humans said nothing. No demands. No threats. No justification. Only silence. Until a single transmission finally broke through, carried by a calm, steady voice. Deep, emotionless, and older than the stars themselves. Council of the Galaxy. We have returned. That one message froze every living empire. Because silence is scary. But a calm human voice, after 6,000 years, was terrifying. 12 great species, older than nations, gathered inside the crystal chamber, walls shining like frozen stars, air thick with fear. Generals spoke in loud voices, trying to hide shaking hands. Scholars read old human history, hoping for answers. No one was ready. Because how do you face a civilization that disappeared for 6,000 years, only to return stronger than every empire combined? A sharp alarm echoed through the chamber. The humans had arrived. Not their full fleet. Only one vessel, but it was enough to silence 1,000 voices. A single human envoy ship broke through the defense wall like fog. No weapons raised. No fire. It simply glided forward, slow and fearless, as if nothing in the galaxy could stop it. Council warships surrounded it instantly, lasers locked, missile bays armed. One wrong move could start a war. Still, the human ship drifted forward, steady, silent, undisturbed. Then the door opened. 3 humans stepped out. Not armies, not commanders, just 3 figures, tall, calm, wearing black armor threaded with blue energy veins. Their eyes carried a different kind of history, not anger, not hatred, but experience carved by centuries of struggle. The hall fell silent as they walked inside, footsteps echoing like distant war drums. No fear in their faces. No need to prove strength. They already knew who they were. The council speaker finally managed to speak, voice trembling. "Where have you been?" The lead human lifted his gaze. His answer was quiet, yet it struck the room like thunder. "We were watching. We were preparing. And we have not forgotten." A cold wave ran across every alien present. Humanity had returned, not weak, not broken, but awakened. And no one knew what they were here to claim. The council tried to remain calm, but fear already filled the room like smoke. Thousands of alien warships were positioned around the human fleet, ready to fire at a single word. Entire species remembered old wars, planets burned, fleets destroyed, borders redrawn by human hands. History whispered warnings. Yet the humans stood unshaken, as if they carried strength older than the stars. The council leaders asked questions with trembling voices. "What do you want after 6,000 years? Why return now? Are you here for peace or war?" The human envoy did not rush. He simply placed a small device on the table. It activated by itself, projecting ancient footage into the air. Everyone turned to look. Planets burning. Human cities falling. Alliances broken. The great betrayal, when the galaxy abandoned Earth. The room froze. These were records no one thought survived. They showed the truth, how humans fought alone, how they were pushed to extinction, how every empire closed its doors when Earth begged for help, and how humans disappeared into the dark with no one beside them. When the recordings ended, silence hit harder than any weapon. The human envoy spoke. "We did not return for revenge. We returned because the galaxy is dying." No one understood. He continued, voice deep like winter thunder. "A threat is coming. Bigger than you, bigger than us. And you left us to face it alone." Alien faces turned pale. Warships outside tightened formation, unsure whether to attack or retreat. Every leader felt it. The galaxy stood on a knife's edge. One wrong word, one wrong move, and the stars would drown in fire. The humans were not here to ask. They were here to warn. And the next move would decide the fate of every living world. Third person, simple English, full action plus war unleashed plus cinematic chaos. The council panicked. Some leaders demanded mercy. Others demanded immediate war. Fear became a weapon inside the chamber. Accusations flew like sparks. In the chaos, one alien commander made the worst decision in history. He ordered a full strike on the human fleet. Missiles launched. Lasers burned through space. An entire armada fired at once. The first attack hit the human dreadnoughts like a wave of light. And nothing happened. The shields didn't crack. The formation didn't move. It was like the universe itself stood between humans and destruction. Then humanity responded. Not with panic, not with rage. With precision. Thousands of warships activated at the same second, their engines turning deep blue like ocean fire. A single command echoed across the fleet. Calm, cold, controlled. Engage. Space exploded. Human ships unleashed plasma storms, beams brighter than stars, weapons no species had names for. Alien fleets shattered like glass under thunder. Carriers fell, dreadnoughts broke open, battleships tore apart in silence. It was not a battle. It was a lesson. Humans moved like ghosts, calculated, ruthless, unstoppable. Their weapons didn't just destroy, they dismantled, disarmed, outsmarted. Every strike was a warning. We are here because we choose to be, not because we must. Even in war, the humans left escape corridors. They targeted engines, weapons, never civilians. They fought with control, not madness. The galaxy watched with wide eyes. This was not the same fragile species they abandoned 6,000 years ago. This was a civilization forged in exile, sharpened by time, built from ashes. When the final alien flagship fell burning into the void, the message was clear. Humanity did not return to kneel. Humanity returned to stand. Herd person, simple English, powerful ending, legendary tone. When the dust of war finally settled, space became quiet again, too quiet. Wrecked alien ships drifted like broken bones. Exploded metal shined like dying stars. Thousands of planets watched the battle feed in silence, unable to speak, unable to believe what they saw. The humans stood victorious, not because they wanted to conquer, not because they wanted revenge, but because they were ready, prepared by centuries of isolation. The Galactic Council sent a request for surrender within hours. No arguments, no speeches, no more pride to protect. They had seen enough. The same empires that once left Earth alone in darkness now kneeled, desperate for forgiveness and protection. The humans returned to the chamber, 3 envoys, calm as before. No celebration on their faces, no smile after victory. They carried the weight of history like a shield. The council leader spoke with a shaking voice. What happens now? The human commander did not answer immediately. He looked around the vast hall, at species who betrayed Earth long ago. He saw fear, but also hope. Maybe that was enough. At last he spoke. You feared our return. But we did not return for your destruction. We returned because something else is coming. Images appeared, unknown shapes in the void, colossal like planets, older than galaxies, devouring stars one by one. A hunger beyond reason. A threat no empire could face alone. The chamber froze. If humans were this strong, how powerful was the enemy that awaited? The envoy raised a hand. Not in war, but in alliance. Stand with us, he said, or fall alone. And so, after 6,000 years, the galaxy did what no one expected. They did not enslave humanity. They did not fear humanity. They followed humanity, because only one species had walked through darkness and returned unbroken. Only humans.